The sun had dipped just below the horizon, and a sudden breeze swept through the bustling market square, sending a swirl of fine dust dancing in the fading light. The air was cool now, carrying with it the faint, earthy scent of crushed olive leaves and the lingering aroma of fresh bread from nearby stalls. Shadows stretched long across the stone-paved courtyard, where merchants and townsfolk paused in their daily rhythms, as if the very atmosphere held its breath. Somewhere nearby, a child's laughter mingled with the soft murmur of voices haggling over grain and woven cloth. Each negotiation a delicate balance between value and fairness, echoing an age-old quest for justice. Amidst this tapestry of sounds and scents, flickering oil lamps began to ignite one by one. Their golden flames cast elongated shadows that wavered and danced over worn parchment scrolls, unrolled and weighed down by smooth river stones. Each scroll bore lines of inked commandments, ancient laws handed down through generations, scribed with care by diligent hands. The scent of olive oil mixed with the faint, musty perfume of papyrus, a reminder that these words carried the weight of community, covenant, and conscience. At the heart of the square stood a judge, his face carved by years of solemn duty. His hand rested on a carved wooden gavel, polished smooth from countless verdicts delivered beneath the open sky. Around him, a circle of long-robed elders nodded in unison, their eyes reflecting the flickering lamplight as they debated the merits of justice and mercy. Their robes, dyed in deep earth tones, whispered softly with every movement, the fabric textured and worn from years of service to their people. Nearby, cedarwood chests stood as silent sentinels, their lids securely fastened, holding scrolls and records worth a soldier's year of wages, precious knowledge and decrees locked away for safekeeping. A burst of color caught the eye. A basket of pomegranates, their cracked skins revealing jewel-like seeds glistening like scattered rubies. The fruit's fragrance was sweet, but sharp, a silent promise of restitution and renewal. It was a symbol both of judgment and of hope, a reminder that even brokenness could yield new life. In the distance, the sound of a scale tipping echoed softly, as a sunbeam caught a balance suspended in iron, tilting ever so slightly. Justice, it seemed, was never entirely still, but always poised, waiting for the hand that would steady it or let it fall. Through the latticework of nearby windows, slivers of fading light filtered in, casting delicate patterns on the stone floor. These rays seemed almost like whispers of hope, threading their way through the shadows of doubt and human frailty. The market's usual lively rhythm quieted as the crowd sensed a shift. An unseen moment of reckoning was at hand. The murmurs softened to a hush, and all eyes turned toward the judge, whose voice would soon break the silence with the ancient words that had guided a people through centuries of struggle and grace. The laws inscribed on those scrolls, including the oft-quoted eye for eye, were more than mere rules. They were a covenant of mercy wrapped in justice, a careful balance between punishment and compassion. While the phrase might suggest harsh retribution, the surrounding context reveals a deeper purpose: to limit vengeance, to ensure fairness, and to protect the vulnerable from endless cycles of violence. In this courtyard, beneath the fading sun and amidst the scent of olive oil and pomegranates, the community wrestled with what justice truly meant. As night deepened and stars began to pierce the darkening sky, the marketplace stood poised between past and future, law and mercy, judgment and forgiveness. The shadows lengthened, but within them flickered the promise of understanding, a challenge to each heart listening: how far should mercy extend? When does justice demand firmness? And could the scales of righteousness ever truly balance without the soft weight of forgiveness? Such questions hung in the cool evening air, inviting all who heard to reflect deeply, as the flickering lamps outside slowly merged with the distant glow of dawn yet to come. As the night deepened and the marketplace's bustle settled into a quiet murmur, the scene shifted from the courtyard to the vast desert beyond, a place where stars stretched wide, spilling their silver light across sand and stone. Under this endless sky, veiled figures gathered, their outlines etched softly against the shimmering tapestry of constellations. The desert, both harsh and beautiful, was a canvas for stories long told. Stories of justice, mercy, and the divine laws that guided a wandering people. Around a crackling fire, the figures traced patterns in the sand with worn fingers, each line a symbol or a tale passed down through generations. The flames flickered, casting warm light on faces weathered by sun and wind, eyes reflecting the flicker of memory and meaning. One figure, a shepherd perhaps, pressed a crook into the red clay, leaving behind an imprint that spoke of guidance and protection, an ancient symbol reminding all that leadership meant care, not cruelty. Sand slipped slowly through cupped hands, grains tumbling like moments in time. This quiet measure of passing days was punctuated by the sweet, resinous aroma of frankincense burning nearby, its curling smoke rising as a silent prayer toward the heavens. The scent was sharp and rich, mingling with the crisp desert air, inviting reflection and reverence. In the distance, the soft bleating of sheep provided a gentle soundtrack, their calls blending with the wind's sighs. A lullaby as old as the land itself. Above, a comet blazed a brilliant trail across the night sky, an unexpected and powerful sign that many would have seen as a cosmic reckoning. A reminder that justice was not only earthly, but also woven into the fabric of the universe. Beneath the stars, richly embroidered tents rose in quiet dignity, their patterns telling stories of ancestors, covenants, and lessons learned. The artistry and care of these tents spoke to a culture deeply connected to tradition, where each thread carried meaning. Near the fire, vials of myrrh glinted softly, their precious contents worth as much as a small herd to those who understood their value. The sharp, earthy aroma of myrrh added another layer to the night's sensory tapestry, reminding all present of sacrifice, healing, and the bittersweet nature of justice. Shadows of watchful shepherds stretched long across the sand, their vigilance a metaphor for the community's role in guarding not only flocks, but the fragile balance of right and wrong. This desert gathering was more than a meeting. It was a living story, a reenactment of the ancient dance between law and mercy. Under the vast sky, the laws etched in stone and scroll found new voice in whispered prayers and shared memories. The night air held a question as vast as the desert itself. How does a people balance the weight of justice with the grace of forgiveness? How do they hold to the eye for eye without tipping into endless cycles of retaliation? As the comet faded and the first faint light of dawn began to touch the horizon, the distant drums of a waking village echoed softly, an auditory thread weaving past and present, reminding all that justice is not static but a journey. The desert's cold silence promised tales yet untold, challenges yet faced, and the enduring hope that mercy might temper the harshness of retribution. In these quiet moments beneath the stars, the community's story unfolded, inviting every listener to consider their own place within the scales of justice. Could mercy truly rewrite the harshest of law, or was the balance forever destined to teeter, caught between judgment and grace? These questions lingered like the scent of frankincense on the night breeze, drawing all deeper into the ancient dance. What might it mean for us today to hear these stories under the same stars, to trace the same patterns in the sand? The desert's silence offers space for reflection, a reminder that justice is as much about the heart as it is about law. And as the sun's first rays warmed the cool earth, the promise of new understanding glimmered on the horizon, urging onward the journey to the first light of dawn painted the hills with a gentle amber glow, softening the rugged contours and revealing winding paths that stretched toward distant horizons. Along these trails, pilgrims moved steadily, their sandals crunching against sun-baked earth, each step a silent prayer and a testament to perseverance. The air carried the faint fragrance of ripe grapes hanging heavy on twisted vines, their clusters whispered by the breeze to bring atonement and healing, symbols of restoration after brokenness. Above, birds soared in graceful arcs, their wings tracing patterns that seemed to mimic the ancient scales of judgment, balancing light and shadow in effortless flight. Their calls pierced the stillness, a natural chorus echoing the human quest for justice tempered by mercy. Nearby, charcoal dust smeared carefully on foreheads marked moments of inner reflection, signs of penitence and the desire to seek deeper understanding beyond mere legalities. Woolen cloaks rustled softly as travellers adjusted their garments against the morning breeze, the fabric coarse yet comforting, reminiscent of past transgressions now cloaked in hope for forgiveness. The sound mingled with the distant solemn echo of a ram's horn, its call a summons to righteousness and community gathering. This ancient signal stirred hearts, reminding all who heard it of the call to live justly and to forgive generously. In a nearby grove, honeycombs dripped golden sweetness, their slow, steady flow a symbol of the reward that follows patience and reconciliation. The scent of wildflowers mingled with the earthy aroma of olive grove swaying gently in the breeze, their branches intertwined as if woven into crowns, signs of peace and victory over strife. Each element of this morning scene spoke of a journey not only through physical landscapes, but through the terrain of the heart, a pilgrimage toward mercy and understanding. As the horizon glowed brighter, the silhouettes of travelers disappeared into the embrace of the rising sun, their paths converging and diverging like the intricate threads of a tapestry. The warmth of the day promised new beginnings, yet beneath the surface lay the enduring question: how far should forgiveness extend when justice demands recompense? When does mercy risk undermining the very order it seeks to uphold? These reflections are not confined to distant times or places. They resonate deeply within us today. What would it mean to walk such paths, carrying both the burden of law and the lightness of mercy? In the heart's trial, every step invites us to weigh our responses, to balance the scales with grace rather than hardness. The journey ahead remains long, winding through valleys of doubt and peaks of hope. Yet, as the amber light lingers on the hills, it beckons each of us to consider: can justice and forgiveness truly coexist without one overpowering the other? And how might our own choices shape the delicate dance between retribution and mercy? The day unfolds with quiet promise, inviting contemplation and courage to pursue the path where justice does not exclude compassion. As the pilgrims vanish into the sunlit distance, their footsteps echo a timeless invitation to journey beyond the letter of the law into the heart of mercy itself.